How's it going, guys? And welcome to another Q&A. We're joined today with Mod Swing.
Hello.
Mod Kieran.
Hello.
Mod Rock.
Hello.
Mod Tom H.
Hello.
And myself, Mod Archie. We have some really exciting stuff to do in this Q&A, not just questions. We have, first and foremost, the PvP reveal, PvP Championship reveal of the 1v1s. We'll be showing you which players are participating and which fights are happening for the first bracket. In addition to that, we have a content showcase from Mod Wolf showing you guys all of the excellent features to come in tomorrow's update. Some of the features to come in tomorrow's update. And we also have the interview with Rob Baleric.
Action-packed stream.
the previous Deadman season winner, tournament winner, sorry. So yeah, very exciting stream. In addition to that, I trust Mod Wolf can also hopefully grab some questions from the chat. So go ahead and RuneScape if you have anything to say. That being said, it's time for our quick little speech here. So before we get into the reveal, which is what we have in this hat here, we have all of the names. Firstly, I'd like to say I'm very happy to say it's been increased from 16 people total in the 1v1s to 32.
Double.
Hey. All right. So this is obviously for a variety of reasons, but first and foremost, I'd like to talk about my selection process. So for a limited time, just going off of our history with working with the competitive PvP community, the singles PKers, all we had to go off was what we knew. And we knew that we hosted a 5v5 tournament a couple of years back, and there was a team that ended up dominating. And so those were my first kind of picks. Those guys included Wiggled, etc. And then moving forward, we were looking to the community to see, okay, well, who else is obviously some of the best PKers? Because we know these guys are great, but obviously there must be some others. Reached out to Twitter, we referred to the Zybas hybrid tournament, the one that Rot recently did. But realistically, a lot of these guys do a really good job at staying underground, staying hidden. They in fact hide their names in their videos. Many of them have never made a video. Many of them I've never even still spoken a word to. And yet I've got hundreds of people now telling me that they are the best PKer, or at least the top 10. You'd be amazed how many top 10 PKers we have in the game. It's a lot more than 10.
Yeah, every tweet, every DM, the top 10 was different.
Yeah, all from different teams, all these competitors saying, our team's way better than that team, etc. You need to include these guys. It's a lot of people. It's a very difficult decision.
The two recent tournaments were very helpful.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, Sincerely won the Zybas Brid tournament, so we referred to that. And then the Rot tournament kind of opened our eyes, so we extended the invites again. You know, I think we've been listening nicely.
In addition, so we're looking down here. Where am I going to? I've lost my tracking here. Okay, so again, 80% or so of these players, not actual statistics, somebody will add it up, are really unknown. Like, honestly, I've got a very, very, very brief bio for a few of these guys that I guarantee many of you in the chat will have never heard of, but I promise you, I'm very confident in saying they're the best in the game. We're looking to provide an incredibly skill-based tournament. Many thought this was just going to be a YouTubers versus streamers thing. While that would pull incredible views, and that sounds fantastic, and maybe something we can explore in the future, we would rather focus on just genuinely the absolute best players in the game to help build something that we can work with in the future. Cool. Last thing I wanted to kind of get into. Yeah, that's mostly it. Let's get into the, okay, so there's obviously a pool that we pulled from. So there were dozens and dozens of people that I was pulling from and saying, let's consider this guy, let's consider this guy. Unfortunately, quite a few of these people had to be disqualified, or at least I stopped looking at them based on their account activity. Now, this isn't uncommon in the PKing community. There's a lot of trash talk, and that's fine. It's understandable. In competitive games, you appreciate the nature of trash talking, right? But there is such thing as taking it too far. So do you want to kind of talk about that a bit?
Sure, yeah. So I'm going to refer to my phone here. But so like the PK community generally has a bit of a reputation, allegations about DDoSing, ragging, etc. And now that we're starting to shine a light on the PKing scene, where we want to do something to kind of improve the way it's perceived, improve the health of the PvP scene, so that way, once we have this short list of like hundreds of players, we don't have to start vetting accounts and saying, no, you know, your conduct isn't good enough, you aren't eligible to win $10,000 this time. So that's mainly what we want to address here. So for the tournament and generally, like, this is good advice normally, you need to take steps to keep your IP safe. Because we saw with the Rot tournament, you know, someone may have been DDoSed against Boaty, we don't know for sure. We want to make sure that doesn't happen in this instance, so keep your IP safe, change your IP if you need to. Be wary of clicking any links, joining any servers, TeamSpeak servers, for example. So it's up to, we can only do so much, right? We can only track what you're doing in game. It's up to you to keep your IP safe.
if you're going out risking like 700 mil and then live streaming it, and you suspect somebody has your IP who you suspect might be one of those people, it doesn't do much when you come to us after the fact and then say,
exactly.
take care of this guy. It's incredibly difficult for us to see on our end, obviously.
We can retroactively take action against the person responsible, but you need to protect yourself to kind of stop it from happening. Prevention's better than reacting.
Yeah, and right now there's just allegations between all of these teams. I think I don't know if I listed down. Oh, I don't have it on here. We've probably got about 6 or 7, I think, of some of the biggest singles teams that we're working with in this tournament, which we're about to pull names for in just a minute. But yeah, realistically, all of these guys are coming at me from all different angles saying, this guy did this to me in 2014. This guy just DDoSed me the other day, and this and this. And it's just, realistically, the best way to tackle all of this is to say, going forward, we need to make sure that you protect yourself so that we can help protect you.
Yeah, I know there's some alliances they've got return. If people DC while killing, they'll return stuff. But why not just protect your IP so you don't have to do all that?
Yeah.
Jump through those hoops.
All right. That being said, I think we're ready. Not on me. These guys are pulling the names. I think that if I pulled the names, people would be like, oh, that's definitely rigged. So I'm going to let these guys pull the names. We have 32 names in here on folded up pieces of paper. I believe we have Mod Stone hopefully trying to throw that into a very pretty graphic, so we'll see the actual bracket as a whole. But who would like to do the honors?
I think go round.
Yeah? Go ahead.
So
don't look in the hat.
Are we doing one? Are we picking one name out each, or are we doing two?
Yeah, one name out each.
Okay, so the very first name out of the magic hat.
It'll take a while.
Wiggle.
Oh, Wiggled. Okay, one of the bigger names in this tournament, I think. He's repping. I don't know much about these teams. I believe he's in a team called Lemon. That's what I'm going with here. Obviously,
who's he going to be facing?
One of the bigger guys.
Wiggled will be facing Sinceriously.
Oh, there we go. First
That's a good match.
So for context, he was the winner of the Zybersbury tournament held in February, I believe.
Okay. So before we pull that name, let's just guarantee real quick, Modstone, you've got that?
Yeah, I've got it.
Wiggled versus Sinceriously in the first round.
Keep them in nice pairs as well.
Cool. Let's see who's playing in the second round
match.
That's a very. All of these rounds are tough.
Ooh.
Oh, Money.
Oh, Money.
Okay, another big name, obviously. Causing quite the scene a few days.
So Money will be facing.
Wow.
Oh! Extreme match there. Nice.
We have completely rigged this. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Fold them together.
Money versus Manked Up Mage. Two widely known content creators in the PvP scene.
Oh, I can't see anything.
Both of these guys are extremely talented.
All right. Next up. Money Loan.
Money Loan Flipper Gang. Okay, I recognize his name from the 5v5 tournament we did. I'm not certain this guy might be, I believe, one of the Finnish PKers.
Didn't Flipper Gang come second in the to abusement part?
Yeah, but he has stayed very active in the PvP scene, so we know he's good.
He will be fighting against
Eomeri. This dude is definitely one of the Finnish PKers. Yeah. I'm told the Finnish PKers are the best PKers. So
he's applied for 5v5s and 20 versus 20s as well.
Yeah.
So he's very active in PvP scene.
Shout out to Eomeri as well, giving me a hand with some of this. But yeah, that'll be a good one. I think those guys are friends. That'll be tough.
Have a good mix around.
Yeah, Eomeri's in Fools.
There's a lot of names in here. It could be anyone. I'm surprised we pulled out some of the more well-known ones straight away. Right. John. Jon.
Okay. A name I recognize from Deadman.
Spaces in it, I believe.
Yeah. I believe I heard a rumor that this guy's very good when it comes to obstacles and kind of working his way around, finding certain points where he can fight people and they can't fight back. That might be a rumor, but he won't be able to do that in this tournament, obviously.
We'll see how well he does. Against? Having a good feel.
Yep. Let's see what we've got for him. John, it will be against Painless, aka Montana, aka people's favourites here. So
he's
bigging
definitely
this guy up to be one of, if not the best breeds in the game, like top 3, top 5. Yeah. So John's got to work hard out for him here.
That's one of those underground guys. I'm telling you, the stream you guys probably haven't heard of, but he may very well go very far.
That'll be a fight for the King of the North.
Yeah, of course. Again, I might be getting all of my facts wrong when I'm talking about these guys, but hopefully some of it's right. I think that guy's in front line, judging from the chat at least.
Next up, Shark owns.
Okay, again from the 5v5 tournament. Not sure if he is or was in Lemon, but I think he is in that group of friends there. Remained active throughout the years.
Shark owns will be fighting 10-13.
Oh boy.
Damn.
This guy was a last-minute addition. I'm told, well, he's very confident, I think, that he is at least in the top 2. There's a couple of guys who think they're the best, obviously. But that's another one of those underground guys that...
What do you say he's potentially one of the favourites?
I would say, in terms of the underground PKers who know this guy, I would say he's one of the favourites for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Boom Saigon.
Boom Saigon. I think he's the leader of Wolves.
Yeah, we saw how well he did in the Rock tournament as well.
Yep.
He did well in the Rock tournament. He was part of the 5v5 tournament. I can't remember what team
he was. He was, in fact, in the 5v5 tournament. Again, these guys have all remained active and loyal for years now.
Boomer Smash is his special move, I believe.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Boom has been around the scene for many, many years.
Definitely. Quite iconic. Who's Boom playing?
Oh, Swede Badass.
Oh, Swede Badass.
Nice matchup.
Yeah.
Another one of the content creators.
Content creator there against
I wish he'd make more videos, but yeah.
Historically done well. That's a good match.
Those guys are obviously both very talented. That'll be a good match to watch. He's in the chat, Swede is. He's happy about this. Look at it, he's cheering, he's wooing.
Ooh.
He's happy.
He thinks he's got a chance against the Boomer Smash.
I want to see Boom shut him down. Swede, you don't stand a chance.
All right, next up is KKZ.
Okay, this is, I believe, in terms of like the underground guys, this is, I think, the top 1 pick. From what I've heard, I think this guy is who they believe will win this very easily.
Underground cage fighter, is he?
Yeah, the underground king.
He will be fighting. Oh, 55.
Oh.
This is the other guy who's literally this guy, and then I think the 10-13 are kind of the community favorites when it comes to the underground hybrid singles PKing. So.
Damn.
None of these guys in the chat have any idea who these guys are. But
keep
your eye on these guys, they might do well.
So we should probably go through the top half of the table.
More frontline guys? That's actually 2 of the best frontline guys, I think, playing against each other.
If we're looking at...
there.
I mean, that matchup, I mean, this could highlight, potentially, in the future, ideally, we might want to have some more seeding when we have the best people not going against each other. But we can't actually set that up right now until we have some data to really back that up.
Well, that's the thing is, like, these guys do so well to remain hidden. We don't know if they're the best. I'm just going off of what all these people tell me. That guy might not be very good at all.
So we saw KKZ, he was featuring in the top 3 of everyone's recommendations, right?
Yeah.
And then 55, obviously, he walked the Rock tournament. So these two, that's going to be one hell of a matchup in the first round alone.
So, match 8, first guy, Emotional.
Okay, this was, I believe, a 107 combat that recently played. I think he's also frontline in the Rot tournament. He did very well without melee.
Well, I think he did.
Yeah, strictly range and mage.
He had 70 prayer. Really great effort there.
Yeah.
Every time you saw him fight in that last tournament, everyone would literally, if he killed someone, they'd literally be like, he died to a 1 HP.
Ooh, Andre.
Andre,
another favorite recently from the Rot tournament.
Put up
play
alongside
second?
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, some exciting matches.
The first half of the table done.
I'm pretty behind.
Yeah, let's go through them all.
Okay, sure. So if we got these matches on the screen here, I think we can read through these. All right, so while we make sure that we get all these names in the actual brackets, which we'll display very shortly, let's run through our first, our first 8 matches so far. Cool. First one we have Wiggled versus Sinceriously. Not too much to say here. I haven't seen a ton from Sinceriously, but what I have seen, he seems like he's awesome. Obviously, knows what he's doing. Monty versus Manked Up Mage coming in the second one. A lot of the content creators out of the way in the early rounds. So Monty versus Manked will be very interesting. Looking forward to both of them hopefully streaming this tournament, actually. Money Loan is Flipper Gang versus Eo Mary. I'm honestly trying to remember if Money Loan is a team either called Bibble Gang or Fools. I'm probably saying that wrong. I might be completely wrong there, but I know Eo Mary is Fools. Obviously a massive representation in Dead Man. They had the names that were like, Oh Starry Jengi. Those guys. I don't know if anybody remembers those guys, but. Round 4 we have John versus Painless. Painless was Montana, is that right?
It's Montana, yeah.
Cool. Round 5, we have Shark Owns versus 1013. That'll be very interesting. From the chat's reaction, Shark Owns really needs to practice for this match. Round 6, we have Boom Saigon. I believe he's the leader of Wolves, one of the prominent teams in single PKing. That's going to get clipped and used against for trash talking, I'm sure. Versus Swede Badass, again, one of the prominent teams. I don't know if these teams are very active still. I know Lemon was obviously a big team. Not too sure where these guys are all coming from. We need to do some more research. It's a good thing I'm not casting.
Nils has been very vocal in his confidence for this tournament.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how he actually goes against, because he didn't take part in the Rock tournament, I believe.
And Sweet Badass, obviously, in the chat just now, very confident he's got the best matchup possible. He's literally won the lottery here against Boom Saigon. Round 7, we have KKZ versus 55. I want to say these guys are two of the best PKers to come in our front line. Obviously, 55 did very well in the Rot tournament recently.
It's going to be an interesting match to see how he does.
I bet you they're really upset that they faced each other. I bet you they're not happy about this.
There are some killer matchups in these first ones.
Yeah. Round 8, Emotional versus Andre. Emotional is very interesting because in the Rot tournament, he was only 107 combat while everybody else was basically maxed. But he didn't actually have too much of a disadvantage. The only thing is he didn't have melee. Yeah, he also lost a few hit points levels, I think. So it'll be interesting seeing how he does in this tournament without melee, or whether he chooses to use it, and he'll have to adjust to that. But then obviously, who was he playing? Was that Andre?
Yep.
Yeah, came, second in the Raw tournament recently?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be a great match. Are we ready to move on, guys?
Got 2 seconds left.
2 seconds left, oh God, filler. Well, if you're wondering when this tournament is happening, we're looking at August 12th and the 13th. It'll be live streamed from our office. We're working with ESL, hand in hand. And actually, let's talk about our decision process to change it from 16 people to 32 total. Oh, all right, we're ready to move on. Hang on, I want to say something.
So we do that after. Let's get the draw done, and then we'll talk about the
okay, fine.
itself.
Chat wants the names. I'll get to this shortly.
All right.
So this is round 9. We're looking at...
We have King Barnes.
King Barnes, okay. Another very, very known player in the PvP scene. One of the singles PKers. This guy definitely has some people that don't like him, and he definitely has a lot of people that do like him, so a very controversial fight, whoever he's fighting here.
King Barnes, we're taking on Metallic Mage.
Oh, two of the very trash-talked, dare I say, individuals in this tournament. Picking these guys, I believe, is still a wise move. I'm really interested to see this fight, but
you hold it.
Sure, man.
Lots of people in the PvP scene saying both nice things and not very nice things about these guys. That'll be a fight you want to watch.
Right.
Round 10.
Celestica.
Okay, so this guy is, I believe, so what I've tried to do here is I've taken their actual RuneScape names and then put the names that they associate themselves with in the community. This guy's called Lugia, from what I see. I was able to find a little bit of content online about him. Seems obviously extremely talented. A little bit lesser known, I think more of those one of those underground guys, if I can speak. But who's he fighting?
Let's find out.
Cool, so Celestica will be fighting Bellatrix.
Bellatrix, okay. You actually made this selection. You helped me make this decision.
I did,
here.
yeah. So as a recommendation, I saw a lot of. Managed to find some content for it as well.
Yep.
So like you said, it's hard to find players who keep themselves to a low profile intentionally. So this was made with recommendations. I managed to find some content too to back it up. Yeah. So I'm confident in this choice here.
Yeah, every time that guy's name came up, everyone was saying that was a good choice.
Yeah.
So.
These players might end up making a name for themselves.
Without a doubt, that's the beauty of this tournament, is we might very well make RuneScape PKing celebrities. You guys have to pick your favorite, follow them. We're going to move on to round 11 here.
Yep. With Psych.
Psych, okay. I believe this guy's actual name, he might go by his Jirai here, however he wants to say that. Again, I believe he participated in the 5v5 tournament.
Psych will be facing off against DZ.
Okay, this was a recommendation. I believe he is another Finnish PKer. Again, hearing many people say the Finnish PKers are the best, so we'll have to see just how they face against the rest of the world. I believe that guy's in Fools.
It's all about the EU.
Again, I'm not.
It's definitely about the EU, though, isn't it?
I saw someone in chat say, "Where's I Mahatma I?" That'd be a blast from the past, wouldn't it?
Where's Michael Pro?
I was
Where's
like,
Old Mage?
did I get 2? I'm pretty
I
sure
hope not.
It's just 1. It's just 1.
Oh, he's Bibblegang. Sorry, not
Immortality.
Immortality. Oh, wait, okay. So here we see, I believe, the first big name coming from Rot. We do have a couple of them in here. Spoiler alert. But this guy was definitely one of the, if not the most recommended player to come from Rot. So we'll have to see how he does.
Yeah, so we've got really good representation across the community here. Like the big clans and the big single clans. I think we're quite good with our selection there.
Oh, if it's another Rot guy.
Excellent. Oh. There we go.
Oh, it's Bodhi. There it is. What's that? Round 12 is OA from Rot versus Bodhi.
So is Bodhi going to last more than a round?
Bodhi's watching this right now. I would love to see his reaction. What's he thinking?
Everyone's saying Rip Bodhi.
He wasn't too confident in himself, but I think he justified our decision there.
He did fairly well.
Do you know what? Like what we've seen from Bodhi is like, keep in mind this tournament isn't just around the corner. When we let him know that he was obviously going to be participating.
Yep.
Well, first I said, "Are you up for casting this?" Also, I'd love to see you participate. Back then, that was maybe a month ago or so. Obviously, he has a little bit of time to get his stuff together. He's been playing Iron Man a lot. Understandable. He's doing a lot of like boring, grindy, skilling stuff. But I think if he puts his mind to it, he's definitely going to be one of the best people in this tournament, without a doubt.
He's capable in form.
So you touched on the casting. We haven't told them who's casting yet.
I have. I've said Bodhi.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I haven't mentioned you are.
Oh no, that's fine.
Okay. Should we spoil it? Mod Sween will be co-casting, I guess.
Yeah.
With Ian, Purespam, and Bodhi. I know you have a ton of experience when it comes to PKing.
Multis, yeah.
You happy
Singles,
to share any of that?
Mainly clan-based stuff. So I was in Natural Born Killers in like 2004, early RSC days. Then went to British Elites. Then led a clan in RSB, joined the New Beginning, joined Exiled Fury, and then kind of took a break from RuneScape, came back for old school.
Even still, you're still in the clanning scene right now, right?
Yeah, so I started warring a few clans and teams lately.
Yeah.
You any good then?
Especially for the 5v5s and 20v20s, I think you're gonna drop some knowledge bombs. But let's get to round 13 here.
Okay, round 13 is Cyber Cancer.
Okay, the second name coming from Rot here. I think this guy is called Rot Fills. He obviously did quite well in the Rot tournament recently.
So in response to our invitation, he actually gave himself a title. He said, "I am the People's Champion. I will fight for Rot."
The People's Champion, guys.
Yeah, so he's quite confident.
Let's see what the chat thinks. Guys, is the People's Champion going to do any good in this tournament? Let's see who he's playing against.
So Cyber Cancer is playing against Barrison.
Barrison, okay. Another name to come out of the Rot tournament recently, I believe. Another one of those guys that I wish I knew more about. But we'll see the chat's reaction. See what they have to say. Again, many of these guys coming from recommendations from people that I definitely deem credible.
On to round 14, which means we only have 3 rounds left, 6 names left from that.
Yep.
Should be, hopefully.
I think he's another frontline guy, judging from the chat right now.
Just so unique.
Unique.
Okay. So this guy, I believe, is the leader of Unique, Lol Zorkant. He's been around the scene for absolutely ages. I think he was in the 5v5 tournament we did as well. So yeah, Unique, a very big team.
Just put Lol Zorkant.
Cool. And he will be facing Emo, aka
Houdini.
KKZ.
Another one of the underground guys. You know what? Recently, as of last night, I decided I should probably learn how to brid. So I hopped online and I headed straight there, and I saw this guy going at it. This guy doesn't seem to rest from what I've seen, so I think he's going to do quite well. But that is obviously a very difficult matchup. Don't know if there's any rivalry going on there. Unique versus not sure what team he's in. Obviously,
the underground, supposedly.
The underground.
That's what
the underground
team. The underground, as if it's a team.
It's so difficult to find out. You'd be shocked how difficult it is to find out anything about these guys. They hide their names. They don't tell you anything. Like,
I was looking into, so like we said, we're talking about game conduct and stuff. I was looking at vetting a player that Archie sent through to me, and his chat logs from like a year ago, he was talking lots of smack about Wolves, and then proceeded to go and join them. I'm not going to say who it was.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But he was
interesting.
He was relentless in his attack, and then now he's with them.
Chat's saying Bibblegang. Okay, so that seems to be another massive team in the PKing scene right now. Singles at least, so that'll be a good match.
2 rounds left.
Yep,
Round
penultimate matchup is Parb
Cool.
Parv, okay. I'm going to say this guy's name backwards is Brap, so I don't know if he's repping Brap. I don't really know.
Yeah. He's Brap Matt. He came second to Sinceriously in the Zybex.
Ultimate match.
Oh, there you go.
The one
Okay.
before the last.
Solid choice, obviously.
And he will be fighting against VD.
VD, okay. I believe this dude is also in the Bibble Gang team. They're pretty strong looking right now. Really want to do more research on these guys. I know it's up to the casters to do all this research, but I'm personally curious. I'd love to be able to provide like a little bit of bio from each player when we see them fighting in the actual match. So
obviously we only have 2 names left. We know what the final matchup's going to be, but the way we draw them out is going to...
Sorry, I got the team wrong. My bad. Go ahead.
The way we draw these out is not going to make any difference whatsoever. So
I just take one now.
Here's one.
Here's one.
Here's mine.
They don't know who remains,
simultaneous reveal, mate.
You ready?
No.
No.
I'm ready.
It's Foe versus Sick
The final
Nerd.
matchup.
So D-Bolt versus VV.
Ah, here you go.
No,
this is really
Milan.
interesting. So Milan, one of the massive names in Rot, definitely one of the best PKers that Rot has to offer. And D-Bolt is a really odd one to see in this tournament because he's known by many as the best pure PKer.
Yep.
You watch this guy's videos, he's insanely fast. And I'm told pure PKing, tri-birding that is, takes more skill than it does with main because if you mess up one tick or anything, you take a lot of damage. Right, there's no forgiveness.
That's what I've been told, and obviously we're looking to get the tournament worlds up as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So he'll have time to practice main breeding.
Yeah, we'll have to see how he does on an actual main. I know he has a pure and a Zerker, but I don't know if he has a main.
Yep.
That'll be a really interesting matchup to see. Regardless, some really solid, I think, well-balanced matches here.
That was really fun.
Can we do that every week?
Pulling those names, that was awesome.
I know I was worried. We're taking up so much of the Q&A today. I apologize, guys, for anybody who doesn't care about this, but genuinely, like, there's no other place that we can do this. It has to be through a stream, I think.
Otherwise, people would say rigged.
Yeah.
Rigged, that's what we get.
We didn't want to obviously put names together ourselves, otherwise people would be like, oh, you put this guy against this guy on purpose. Anyways, so cool. We're working on getting that bracket up for you guys momentarily. You'll be able to kind of visualize who's playing who, obviously, and then predict the future, saying, if this guy beats this guy, he's then going on to play this guy, etc. But I believe we do lose you now, or do you want to hang around for a minute?
I'll wait until the bracket's up.
Okay.
I was going to say, we could probably offer, if people want to, so we'll share the bracket graphic, obviously. If people want to take people want to try and predict how the bracket's going to end up in the future.
Are we taking bets?
We could probably, no, because that's against the rules.
Okay.
But we could probably look at getting some prizes out, right?
Yeah?
So similar to the Inferno, I guess, we could probably get a prize out in place, I reckon.
See if someone gets the bracket 100% right.
You know
Let's
what?
get 100% right.
With enough attempts, someone will.
It's odd, but we haven't mentioned it yet. There's $10,000 going to the winner.
$10,000.
Just in case anybody didn't know. Those are 32 very blessed individuals, obviously worked very hard to get where they are now. Obviously, I believe, I'm confident in saying they're the best in the game. Obviously, there's tons of people coming from all different types of clans saying, you've got this wrong, this guy's way better, etc. Whatever. This is going to be a great matchup. 10 grand on the line. You got to realize people bid differently when they're at home, listening to music, chilling out, like, no pressure. When they're on stream in front of tens of thousands of people, knowing that there's 10 grand on the line, everyone will play different. I think, personally, that's where the content creators are going to shine. Because they're used to the live streaming and the pressure. But
it's the risk. You just automatically want to take less risks, don't you? When it's, you know, you're going to be knocked out if you die.
I've got to say, like, no offense meaning here, but I was really surprised by Andre's performance. So like you said, fighting differently in a tournament setting rather than as PKing, like fun on stream.
Yeah, honestly, watching Monty, literally, I was watching his stream, a few days ago, it was on the weekend, and he lost to Robert. He literally lost to Robert. I'm like, okay, made the right choice. But then he went on to come, third place, and he was absolutely shocking.
Man on a mission.
Yeah, he had something to prove.
Well, I'm still here, actually. 5v5 to 20 versus 20. Applications are still open until Friday. I've got a short list I've been whittling down as I'm checking them every single day. But yeah, you've got until Friday to get your applications in. Then I'll be sending invitations on the Friday as well, and we'll probably be looking at drawing similarly next Wednesday.
Cool. So I think we're aiming to reveal the players in the 5v5 and 20v20 next Q&A stream.
Yep.
Cool. That'll be a great stream. Look forward to that one. Regardless, we spent so much time talking about this. I'd love to be able to get through a few content questions. We'll get through as many as we possibly can, and then we'll have that bracket up on screen as soon as it's done. Also, we've also got what Mod Wolf is going to be showing some content. So let's get through some questions real quick, guys. Stevio says, when can we expect to see another priority poll? It's been a while since the last one. It has been a while.
So we've had discussions about what we want to do over the next year, and it's going to tie in nicely to RuneFest. So I think you'll be looking at shortly before, shortly after RuneFest. But we'll be very, very vocal, very open about what we've got planned. And I've seen lots of questions about, are you going to prioritize quests or anything like that? We've got lots of good quests. We've got lots of PvM and PvP content. We've got something for everybody. There will be a poll fairly soon, around RuneFest time.
Cool. Timmy says, the mining cape perk is very underwhelming. It's far worse than the Varrock armor for mining perk. That's the Varrock armor 4 mining perk. Can it be buffed? He says, give it a 5% chance to mine everything double. Ores up to Amethyst, Motherlode mine ores, gemstones, etc.
See, that's giving it a similar thing to the mining gauntlets, which have already got out. Obviously, that only goes up to the standard ores to Runite. If we were to looking at something else, there is a viable, but I'd probably want to get more things that the community can suggest for the mining cape perk if we were to change it.
I don't know, it has a lot of support. A few people very strongly shouting no. What do you think about double ores at a 5% chance? Is that balanced? Is that...
Like I said, we've got the gloves, which already do that for some of the ores we have.
Okay.
So it's not too far-fetched, but it could be for some of the things that we didn't put on the gloves. Because I'm sure Modhead did that for a reason rather than including everything.
Okay. I'm told we already have the graphic. Yeah, you know what? Let's get this out of the way. Let's go ahead and display the 32 individuals that have been invited to our 1v1 PvP championship. And we'll see who they're playing. Hey, there it is. I can't read that, but there you go. Hopefully some of you guys can read that.
It's now on our social as well.
Cool. Are you joining us on the couch, Modstone?
I am indeed.
Sweet. So you guys can see there who's playing who, and you can potentially predict who you think is going to move on to play the next guy, and maybe even the finals. Again, guys, this is streamed August 12th and the 13th. We've actually got several hours of live streams. We'll have this hopefully tweeted up on our social and stuff, right?
Done already.
Sweet. Honestly, originally, as I was trying to say earlier, see you, Modsween. Thanks for your time.
See you later.
Originally, we had 16 guys, and we already had 12 hours of live stream set up. You got to remember, we're including 5v5s and 20v20s, and those games go on for a significantly longer period of time. What I ended up doing is I took the 16 people, and instead of them doing best 2 out of 3s for every single match, I said, you know what? We're going to double the amount of people, but we're gonna bring in some single round knockouts. So I'm thinking the first couple of rows there in the bracket that you saw just a minute ago, those will be single round knockouts. The quarters, semis, and finals obviously will be best 2 out of 3. But that's how we did it.
What we doing for the final? Is it best of 5 or?
Best 2 out of 3, I think.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll probably keep it consistent. That should probably work well. But yeah, honestly, it's tons of stream going on for both of those days. Gonna be amazing content. Moving on to the actual game questions. Iron Fuzzy says, can we see a scaled yield for farming limpwort roots and berries so that someone with a higher farming level will end up with a better yield?
Yeah, I think this really probably should be the case. There's a bit more benefit to having a higher farming level. Farming limpworts is a bit rubbish because you only get that limited amount and it's set every single time. At the same time, we could probably look at also potentially reducing the numbers that I dropped from some of the buff drop tables that we added them to.
Okay.
Just to balance it out a little bit and put more emphasis on actually going and farming them.
Sounds good to me. I'm told we do have the content sneak peek of the week ready with Mod Wolf. Do you want us to get through one last question before we head over?
You can go now if you want.
Okay, let's head over right now.
Oh, we're here already. I was expecting that really cheesy graphic that they always play, you know, the one that looks really weird.
That's a great graphic.
With the music. But yeah, hi. So one of the benefits of moving the stream to Wednesdays now is that we can actually show you what's coming out tomorrow. We have a couple of quality of life things coming out that we pulled a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to show you 4 the probably larger ones that are coming this week. So first of all, a lot of these were done with Mod Tom here. She's currently on the couch, so thank him. The first thing I'm going to show you is the Blast Mine interface. So at the top here, we now have an interface tracking how many ore of each type you get. I'm not going to... Oh, I have no deposited ore. Brilliant. Whenever you hit 450, which is the cap of any of these ore, they also change to red, I believe, Tom? Yes, so he's also plugged that in, which is really useful. I've started with probably the least impressive one, and I will show you probably the best one at the end. So next up, I'm going to go ahead and teleport to the lighthouse, where the Dagonoths are. Close enough. Close enough. And Mod Ed actually did this. He has added the peak option that you guys have been asking for quite a while, and also more importantly, you'll now notice that you can see the Dagonoths below as well as any players. So no longer do you have to go down and check whether or not there is a cannon or if somebody's right at the back over here and you can't see it. The peak option will let you see if that person's over there. So that's really useful as well. The Amulet of Chemistry. Oh, I should have showed that first. I was trying to think of a bank. I'll just go to Alcarid. It's cool. Over here. Here we go. So, the Amulet of Chemistry also now has a different option when you right-click it. Has the options menu, and when that comes up, you can check charges as you could before. I have one left, very conveniently. And on top of that, I now also have toggle action when the amulet breaks. So, depending on what you want to do, when the amulet breaks, you can choose to stop making potions or continue making potions. I can quickly show that to you right now because I've slightly tweaked the way the amulet... Oh, Mod Ash actually slightly tweaked the way the amulet works for the stream so that you're a little bit more likely for this to activate. So, if I go ahead and make all, hopefully I should get a 4-dose potion relatively quickly, and if I do... There you go! It's crumbled to dust and I stop making potions. So no longer will I accidentally miss out on getting more 4 doses, which is super, super handy. And finally, if I clear my inventory, and if I give my coins back that I just realised I cleared, over here, and I teleport to the Blast Furnace, which is on the base map, very oddly, but that's fine. Go over here, and I pretend as though it is a Blast Minus world by set map flag. 411? It's 11? Yes, excellent. I'm going to have to log out and in, aren't I? Excellent, fantastic. And we awkwardly wait for a moment for the NPCs to appear. First thing that I can show you is that the cost has, there we go, the cost has increased to 72k an hour as opposed to 60k. And you'll also notice that there's 2 more dwarfs, Numpty and Thumpy, of course, and they will fix the pipes for you when you're doing Blast Furnace. Did I say Blast Mine? Did I get confused with Blast Mine and Blast Furnace earlier? Yeah, I meant Blast Furnace. Mod Tom H is also epic and made this little thing that breaks pipes for testing, so I can show you them in action right now. You'll notice that Numpty's going over to fix this pipe, and the conveyor belt is being fixed right there. There you go. Brilliant. You'll notice also that we don't have any form of animation for this, so they do kind of knock their head against it like that. And those are some of the main updates that are coming out tomorrow. So there's your sneak peek of the week. Thank you.
I'm so glad we moved these to Wednesdays. That is going to be such a nice addition.
Such a good idea.
Yeah.
No problem. Like, all of these updates are devved after the last Thursday's Q&A, but ready for this week's update, so yeah. There was never a good opportunity to show them.
So, yeah, I guess if you have any questions about the new content that you really want answering, at RuneScape in the chat, and ModWolf will pick them out.
Cool.
Yeah, we should probably add one thing. From the last poll that we had, so the one before the one that's currently running, go vote in that one if you haven't. Obviously, Make All was polled, and Mod Ash has been working away on that quite diligently. It's going to take a little time because he has to go through a lot of things. So we're aiming to get it to you as soon as possible. It's just obviously not going to be this week.
It's made good progress, though.
No, definitely.
Cool. I'm seeing the chat spam about something that is on my Q&A list. It's not a question for us, so I don't know why people are asking us. Actually, I know why people are asking us. What's happened to Link's Titan? So I was literally just thinking, he's probably on holiday.
I think he deserves a break after that efficient.
And I think we can plug mobile here. He probably wishes he had mobile. Hey.
Great mobile plug.
Yeah.
Ran out of lasagna.
I'm sure he's on holiday. I don't know. Anyways, we obviously hope to see him back soon. Phrase says, can the funny feeling you're being followed message when receiving a pet be highlighted when it appears in the chat box?
Yes, I saw the suggestion. I like this suggestion, and it's not difficult to do. So, sure.
That's my favorite kind of answer.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay. Mr. Mole says, any news on the player design content competition that was announced a few weeks ago? The 100 Master Clue one. There was hype for a few days and everyone forgot about it.
I spoke to Mod Sween about this, and he said he's planning on looking through the results through the entrance next week, and so we should have further to say on that then.
Okay.
But still, right now, get your ideas across for what you'd want to see as an untradeable reward from Master Clue after 100 completions.
Speaking of clues, Flame says, when will we have a follow-up regarding Crack the Clue?
I think that's for Mod Matt K to decide. He was the mastermind of Crack the Clue 1. And, you know, he was absolutely, you know, he loved the hype, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, when he saw
he loved it. Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. And it wouldn't go a week without him, you know, boasting about it, saying no one's completed it yet. So
the amount of times we sat him down and said, please, can we just show them where it is? Can we just do this already? He was like, no, they need to figure it out.
I think we should try and get him to launch the Crack the Clue 2 at RuneFest.
Ooh, that would be amazing.
That'd be cool. Yeah, whenever you ask about it, so you always got the Mod Matt K laugh.
Oh, you're gonna hear something about that. Wait till he's back off holiday.
That's gonna be gift.
yeah, Giphy forever.
Yeah. So Zulu has an idea here. I think it's kind of worded awkwardly. I'm going to try to get this across to you reading relatively quickly. So the hollowed shard fragment, which is a tradable drop which could come from the minigame shop as a reward. Once you use a piece of jewelry, it's no longer tradable. Must use one piece of jewelry per X charges, i.e. binding necklace, 16 per necklace added, bracelet of slaughter, 30 per bracelet added, dill ring, 8 per ring added, etc. Can hold up to 10,000 of a specific jewelry charge. Will need one hollowed shard for each piece of jewelry. Examples. So the hollowed binding necklace would have 10,000 charges max and would need to add 625 for a fully charged one, and can add more whenever, like the Arclight / Ring of Suffering.
Why is Mudwolf's face like massively, like mouth open wide?
Mudwolf has found out.
I had a hard time understanding it, but I think I know what he's trying to. What?
Chris, down.
Stop. Jesus.
Boom.
You got a laser pointer.
Hilarious.
I've just found out about it.
Can we take it away from the child, please?
I thought you had an answer to the question.
I'm 12, by the way.
So
it's just because he found a laser pointer. Why do we have a laser pointer? Whatever.
TLDR, I saw this from Zulu. I think he's asked it a couple of times. He wants the ability to make some of the more useful jewellery, being able to stack it all into one piece. I like the idea because it requires you to dump jewellery into it to get those charges for it, so it still creates the usage in the sink.
It's obviously similar to the Ring of Suffering for anyone who's still lost.
Yeah. But whether it comes from the minigame reward shop, I doubt it.
No.
We'll probably throw it on what?
I want this to be some other high-tier jewellery that you can combine it with, essentially. Like the Ring of Suffering, it just adds a bit more value to a different item. And
yeah, I mean, the reason they do, like, say, obviously the slaughter and the chemistry is because they're generally the most used things. Where we give the drop, hey, we could do it for a
Amethyst jewellery, there you go.
Ooh.
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 Just as a thought.
Could work there.
Expand.
As in, so the Amethyst jewellery allows you to create, you know, enhanced versions of the existing stuff that do hold more charges.
Well, you'd have to have a drop that comes from something.
You'd have to.
It requires 1 million amethyst.
Yeah. You'd have to have it require something else, but it just kind of makes sense, you know, new kind of gemstone, new set of jewellery. But you'd probably need something else to power it or something.
It ain't too late to add another reward to the Gargoyle boss.
No.
I would have thought something like Superior Slayer creatures.
You make the basic necklace, that's dirt cheap, but to charge it up to make the amulet, which is useful, requires some other rarer, more expensive item.
How many amethysts have you got in your bank?
Me? None.
The question we need to be asking.
If he does amethyst with a blue right bar.
But as a whole, I think I like this sort of content. Yeah, It's just a matter of where it comes from, essentially.
It is, of course, going to be requested for every piece of jewelry in the game. You know, we have the Eternal Glory, we have the Ring of Suffering.
An infinite games of necklace device. Yeah. Like.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Okay.
Is there a moving on?
Well spotted in the chat.
I didn't see it in the chat. It's a bold move. Bank says, why is it that cave horrors drop big bones, but Cure asks, which are noticeably larger, drop regular bones?
Or maybe
Magic.
Maybe they're larger, but they just have more separate, smaller bones in them as opposed
Yeah,
to
complex.
more
Yeah, exactly.
muscle.
But then when the bones drop, right, there's still only 3. I'm pretty sure there's only 3.
The realist.
Where's the skull?
My immersion has been destroyed.
I know.
All right.
Well, they can drop big bones if you really want them to. I mean, I'd happily pull it,
Is
but
that a new meta though to farm big bones or not? Phone?
Is that still
New
what
big
you do
bone
in your
meta.
account, Modstone? Farm big bones?
Panic
What
sell
else
big
to do?
bones. All right. Pony. Can we see an option to combine rope and net for hunting salamanders? And a right-click option to relay trap with box traps?
I kind of liked the idea because it is a little bit more awkward than box trapping, having them separate. But
I like the idea of combining. I wouldn't necessarily change anything around box traps themselves, though, because that's currently kind of like the meta. So
Yeah.
that would require a little bit more research when it comes into it. But having the idea of combine, I mean, you can use, what, up to 5 at the same time? So it saves you some invent space and allows you to catch more salamanders per inventory.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I don't think they're like crazy stupid XP-wise. They're good depending on what level you are, but towards the top end, they're not worth it.
no.
So that's like definition of quality of life, I think. Doing something like that.
what, combining a net and rope?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's easily. I'm
That's the
sure it's
least
easily.
passionate response I've ever
It's
heard.
probably.
Yeah.
And
It's okay.
I can't guarantee it is definitely possible. Well, actually, no. It should be easily possible.
Well,
But when the net falls down, it would still drop a separate rope and net. Essentially, that's the problem. You'd have to let
wouldn't
the
be a
trap
qu-
store the fact that it's used a net and rope combination instead of a net and separate rope.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a particularly quick thing.
Could you not speak to a hunter guy that teaches you how to use it?
No,
and
but the
then
trap
they
doesn't know it's yours necessarily if you've logged out and in or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, we've lost them. That's all right. Where are we at here? Summer. Can the Staff of the Dead be given the ability to slash through webs? It is a slash weapon and therefore should be able to slash through webs.
Can other staffs do that?
No, but this
I
one
mean,
obviously has
there
something
are
pointy on the end of it.
Why is it a
Tons of-
slash weapon?
Because it has a pointy
It's a super
thing.
strong melee weapon as well.
No,
and
the
it's got a
Staff of the Dead
pointy.
has a giant orb on the, like a ball on the
Oh, I'm
top.
thinking of the
basically.
toxic one.
Oh,
Whatever.
Frankly,
Does it look like it should be able to slash
People
through
saying
webs?
no.
Then no.
in real life,
Just
you
'cause
just
it's
go like this.
Yeah, but these are magic cobwebs. Like,
Just because it's sharp or pointy doesn't mean it should slash through a web, right?
yeah.
Yes.
The thing is, it's
entirely.
neither.
Not really.
Staff
No?
of the Dead is neither sharp nor
You're not
pointy.
gonna,
You
like-
can slash a web with your foot.
Yeah, no, but yeah, fair point.
The chat have spoken. They said no.
Oh, okay.
And it saves us a job.
Magic says, can we please get permanent tournament worlds? So
No.
we're looking to get these up sooner rather than later so people that are participating in the PvP championships can practice.
Yeah, we don't want permanent, I don't think.
Yeah. No, we obviously don't want permanent.
No, the
there are
issue of
reasons
having
that
them
we've explained 100
permanently-
times. But
Yeah.
as for temporary tournament worlds, we are looking to get them up, I think, hopefully in a couple of weeks here.
Okay.
Yeah. Moving on. Kayla, when skills level up, that shows up in the level up chat box message. I probably worded that wrong.
Oh, I know this one, yeah.
Can we get flashing icons with an interface that shows up what we unlocked and said new level?
So I think RS3 had this 2011 or 12.
Yeah, I mean, we
something.
discussed it a few weeks back and said it's something that we'd like to do, so maybe as a tap project or something.
It is kind of like a nice thing when it's just there. If you don't know what you're unlocking when you go up a level.
Yeah.
I would change it so it doesn't just constantly flash like it does in RS3 though, because that is annoying. Where you have to click on it to stop it flashing. I'd stop it after like 10-15 seconds.
I find it such a valuable addition to the game. Like, I've played a couple other games where you do get an achievement and they barely tell you about it, and it's like, oh, I thought that was a good thing, but there's hardly anything going on my screen right now. So I don't know. Just a personal opinion. The chat's distracted by the drama. What's going on? You guys want to fight?
Kieran's been fiddling with his water bottle for the last 5 minutes, and Modrock's had enough.
Modrock turned into the Hulk.
I don't think the Hulk will wear this hat.
I completely forgot. I was completely not listening to anything you said in that answer.
That's okay. I don't think anyone was.
But Mod Ed has done something.
Did
he mention that?
His is a slightly different
No, but
he's making level up messages in general a lot nicer.
Yeah, what I'm saying he's provided a data storage for level up messages to be done nicely, and that means that potentially one day we could do something like that, or at least a way that we can rerun the level up message later and show you it again if you've missed it. Sort of.
Do you reckon we can convince him to add that functionality in?
Not as part of this, no.
All right, we're quite limited for time, and we do still have the interview with the winner of the previous Deadman tournament. Might be playing that at the 6 p.m. mark, to be honest. But let's try to get through a question or two from the chat. I saw something asking for a Guthix boss. Guthix God Wars dungeon boss.
I mean, the other three are there, right?
It doesn't fit lore-wise at all.
No, the problem is Guthix didn't participate in the God Wars.
Did you know
he woke
Guthix
up and was
personally?
like, "What are you fools doing?" and stopped it all. So,
but he didn't though, because they're still there.
Now, that said, the idea of doing another God Wars boss is still exciting.
Oh yeah,
right, absolutely. Whether it's Guthix or some other god, but even then, like even lore-wise, if Guthix didn't participate in the God Wars himself, does that necessarily mean any of his representatives weren't there? Yeah. Does that mean none of them felt like, where's Guthix? He's not helping. And would go and join in the fight and think they were doing the right thing.
Maybe they were.
We could come up with lore here.
Yeah, and for all the people asking for next, I'd really prefer we do something unique to old school. I don't want to just rehash content that's gone into RS3.
In the current systems that we have, we can't do next.
Oh, they've moved on to Zeros now.
Don't get me wrong, I love Nex. I think it's such a good boss.
I really enjoy it too, but it's not something that I think fits old school and necessarily needs to be an old school when we can have new, fresh ideas. Personally, bring in Braska Prime.
No.
That's what needs to happen. Giant cabbage.
We've already got his minions.
Right. Yep. Next question.
No cooking
Here we go.
God.
Spine says, is there any reason reanimated monsters from Ensouled Heads don't have combat levels and can't be monster examined? They're secret. Top secret.
No idea.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea what the code is.
Sorry.
It's like
Ensouled Heads, the things that you
reanimated monsters don't have combat levels or monster examine. Spooky.
Have they all got
things that have you can't monster examine something that is not that doesn't have the visible combat level, I believe.
So we can just add that. I don't.
I'm not sure why the combat levels are hidden. I suspect there's probably a reason.
Yeah,
that was done.
It was Zarek.
I think they've all got 35 HP anyway, so the stats are going to be very similar.
Okay.
So having a combat level on them is probably necessarily pointless.
They're weak though; they don't do much.
Wook's boss? What? All right.
We're asking for a God Ash boss as well. Interesting.
God Wars.
I'm going to try to filter through some of these. I know we'll be able to answer in time. With Grotesque Guardians and many things passing in the poll, when will we get to see this stuff added to the game?
We said in the dev blog for the Gargoyle boss that we're aiming for late August, but that's still really roughly subject to change, but that's where we're aiming for, at least. But
can disconnecting during Scotizo fight put you back into the lair instead of wasting the totem and kicking you out? He said, currently a hiccup in your internet will cause you to lose the totem that you had to grind for. I'd be perfectly fine to start the fight over.
Instanced, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we can't store the instance.
we could still do it though. We could use it. If we use a limbo tile, we put the player in a limbo tile, and then into the fight. When they log out or DC or however they get logged out and log back in, they will log into the limbo tile, which is just a black tile in the middle of nowhere. We can then say they're in that tile. They must have been in the room. Put them back in. So by doing that, we can get them back into an instance, but it will be a fresh one, start the fight again. As the guy mentioned, that should be all right. And I think that would be a reasonable thing to do.
Yeah, I think it's the cost of paying again to go in. So, but yeah, we can work around it.
There's a note in the chat for Kieran.
Karambwanji, quick discussion, please, Kieran. The message in the notepad says. So On the latest Go Boss poll, you might have noticed that there's a question about the Krambwanji. So on the previous poll before that, we offered to make Krambwanji stackable. Krambwanji are the bait used to catch Krambwans, and it was there to aid catching of Krambwans. So what we realised, though, in hindsight after the poll, and it was our mistake, was that obviously if Krambwanji are stackable, that means you would have essentially the ability to have a stackable food item, I believe.
Yeah.
Is the issue. And so hence we then said, okay, with that in mind, we'll make them so that you can't cook them and you can't eat them. Is that okay? And that's essentially why we're putting a second additional poll that we need to also go through to be able to do the update at all.
Effectively be stackable cooking XP.
Exactly. There's a lot of issues attached with that.
People just have to be reminded that this is Krambwanji, so this is the bait to catch Krambwans, not the Krambwans themselves.
So Krambwans will still be edible.
I really
just
hope,
not Krambwanji.
I really hope you guys are all in the next Dovidas song. Looking forward to the next one.
Well, we can bring back your Kawamban.
Oh yeah.
I do like the Africa one. That's fun.
All right, we've got just a few more questions, then we're going to play that interview. We're going to try to get through all of these if possible. Any update on the broad and amethyst darts?
I think we said we didn't want to just do them without adding them as a potential reward for something, or if there is even the need for them.
I think the idea was that it did ruin the darts would kind of ruin the dart market with the exception of dragons.
Yeah.
Runes, although they're not that valuable, and adamant dart tips are one of the only smithing methods that doesn't make you throw away GP other than rune items. So we didn't necessarily want to affect that kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm a wizard.
Mark says,
Not anymore.
Can the Amulet of the Damned allow you to use the Slayer Helm with a Barrow set, as it's fairly useless right now? Is that OP?
So you're effectively using it to have the Slayer set, so the Barrow's effect, while only having 3 items and a Slayer Helm, and this amulet.
Yeah.
This was asked recently again as well, I think, and it was discussed that Barrows does need something done to it to make it better, whether this is the right way.
I'd think maybe just a couple sets of barrels.
Yeah, I'd say perhaps improved Torags,
like
Arims, Carils. Because Guthan's Darraks.
Wait, what?
Guthans. Did you say Guthans? That's a mod West thing.
You really can't take the mick out of me for saying something wrong, Chris, when you say opal.
Nah.
So,
I didn't say opal.
No.
I know what you're talking about.
I think we should look at Barrows in a different way rather than.
But absolutely right. Obviously, like those other sets, like Torags, etc., are just crap. Really.
All right. Oh, it's a savage stream today. Is it possible to make the Dagonoth hide drops from DKs noted as well as the bones, please?
I don't use them for.
You can make the armors.
The armors out of them, and I don't think the armors really have any use.
They're basically like rune and green d'hide and like not even mystic equivalent, I
But
believe.
they're 50 defense as well, aren't they, or
I
something?
think they're
like
40.
Panic cell.
Yeah, they're 40.
A lot of people in the chat saying no.
That one would need a bit of investigation as to how much are actually used, whether they actually
Crafting
have a
experience?
worth or not.
Yeah, it's crafting experience.
Or
Okay.
crafting,
Yeah.
I wouldn't really mind. I think it's.
All right, last one I think we'll have time for today, unfortunately. Apologies again, guys. Next stream, I promise we will have many more questions. We won't have the exciting PvP championship. Actually, that's a lie. We will.
Yeah, we will. Because next week we've got 5v5.
We'll speed through them again. All right. Where was I? Egg says, suggestion, scale down Wintertodd's % damage for players with high hit points. It's not cool when low levels can heal 100% of their health with a bite of pizza, while high levels can only heal 12% with reasonable food.
Okay.
The rewards, though, they scale with your level, don't they?
They scale with skills. But basically what happened is this came up on Reddit, and Moded answered it on Reddit. He said that doing that, making it scalable so people with high HP get hit less or whatever, would be taking the boss in the wrong direction. He said if they were going to do anything which they're probably not, that they would make the lower HP players get damaged more.
Ooh. Yes,
so
kill them
yeah,
all.
basically it didn't go with the way that the theme of Wintertodt was in his design and how it works. So I wouldn't expect anything to change, and even if it did, it would be making it tougher for people rather than making it easier for some.
A lot of yeses in the chat. They really don't like those level 3s. Okay.
I reckon that quite easily pass a poll.
It's a touchy subject.
Yeah, then again, it's making the Wintertodt a lot easier for people at higher levels.
No, not as in making it easier.
Oh,
the reverse of making
it harder.
Yeah, I'm from the support in the chat. I think there'd be quite a lot of support for that. And the lower levels, you bring back food. You make sure you're wearing all your warm gear. You know.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something I'm sure Modded would take a very invested interest in for him to look at. So probably nudge him about that question and get him to rewatch it back and see what he thinks.
Okay. Bit of a touchy subject to end the stream on, but we have a positive note. Before we get into this interview, let me just say this was Monday night, unfortunately due to the time zones, me being in the UK obviously. It was like nearly midnight. I'm sorry if I sound super tired and uninterested, that's not the case at all. Just saying. Anyways, here's the interview with Rob Baleric, the winner of the previous Dead Man tournament. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. How's it going, guys? We're here with the previous winners of the Dead Man tournament. I believe that was the Summer Invitational, Season 5. We're here with Baleric, representing Rot. How you doing, Baleric?
Hey, Archie. How you doing, bro? I'm good.
Am I saying that right? Baleric? What's that about?
It's a lot of people get it switched. It is actually Baleric.
Okay. I saw you take part, obviously, largely in the tournament recently. How did that go for you?
Oh, that went extremely fun. I mean, we had no clue. The tournament was going to be something completely different an hour before. It wasn't until an hour, the last very hour, that we decided that we were going to cast it and do all these other things. So it went like we had no prep, no nothing, and it went really awesome. And I heard the feedback. I read a bunch of feedback, and everybody liked it, and I'm glad.
Yeah, definitely. I hope to see more stuff like that going forward, and we definitely learned a little bit for our PvP championship coming up. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed the casting for that.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Dead Man. That's the main thing we're here for. So looking back at the Dead Man tournament, there was obviously a bit of a twist at the end. We all thought Lit won. That wasn't the case. How did you guys decide on that strategy?
Well, the thing is, every tournament now is getting tougher because there's more and more teams teaming against us.
Yep.
As you saw last tournament, there was, I believe, none of the teams really ended up attacking each other, and they all sort of like targeted us first, and then they fought each other. So what we knew here is that if we had our names as Rot or easy names, they were going to target us first. So we kept like some low-key names in the beginning. And for the very last minute, last hour, we decided, well, you know what, if we all switch to Lit, you know, nobody's going to be able to know who's the real Lit or who's not. So we switched to Lit, and people just didn't know who to attack, really. And we knew, obviously, we had the upper hand there because we know who is who. We knew who to attack, you know, and we moved, you know, very quickly through everything, and we played it perfectly, honestly.
Obviously, it played out well for you. Looking back at the final few moments of the Dead Man tournament, right where you guys just started to wipe out everybody, what was the strategy? Because I believe it was like, what, a 9x9 area? It was quite small. Were you guys kind of hugging the south side, or were you all death darting, or what was happening there?
Yeah, so as soon as the timer went down for like the last minute or something, we started running in, and we stuck to the northwest area. We knew Lit was going to be to the south, somewhere to the south. But we decided to first clear out the people straight east of us. We just barraged that straight east. And eventually, because Lit was barraging, we're barraging them as well. And we sort of like teamed on the randomers, the route to the northeast. So then eventually, after a little bit, we turned around on Lit. And Lit thought we were with them the whole time. So we just turned around on Lit. And we just like hit them from the back pretty much. They had no clue that we were right, that we were actually Rot. So,
right. I know I was blown away by it. Speaking of Lit, though, would you say they're your biggest kind of rival right now? Do you consider them a competitor?
No, not really, because Lit alone is not enough a challenge. The challenge becomes when more than 5 teams or so end up working with each other to like take us down. Right. That becomes a real challenge. But that's nothing new. I mean, that's something that we've been through in in the OSRS like clan world and stuff. So it's nothing new and something that we'll deal with it, you know.
Cool. Good to hear. Let's talk about the history of Deadman and Rot. Now, a couple of seasons you guys have really turned up and just completely dominated everything. And then there have been a couple now where you guys didn't do so well. What's the kind of mentality like in Rot when it comes to Deadman? Is it an all or nothing mentality right now?
Oh yeah, it's definitely all or nothing. I mean, we just want to keep winning. We want to keep giving our best every single tournament, and we know it's going to only keep getting harder. Right. But you know, the more we win, you know, the more fun things we can do. Like, for example, like the tournament that we just did, you know. So I mean, it's definitely every Rot member, you know, is excited, you know, for every tournament. So, and the more we win, you know, it's just more, you know, more wins on our record, and that's what Rot is about, you know. Just keep on winning and winning, just again and again.
Cool. So no slowing down at all. All right, well, that's good to hear. Speaking of this kind of positive mentality, I can't help but notice, but you know, I remember a time in the past when Rot didn't have the greatest sentiment in the community. You definitely had some people out there that didn't like you, but that is quickly changing around, and it looks like you're getting a lot of people on your side. What's that like?
You know what? That feels really good. You know, and just let me just say why sort of we switched sides. I mean, Rot has never. I don't think we've ever really meant like any bad to the game or anything. I think it's just that people misunderstood us. Back then, we had in the clan world, we had every clan like team against us, so they kind of put us in a really, really terrible spot. So we kind of our plan was just, okay, well, we're gonna sort of like hit you guys back with everything, you know, ruin everything for you guys. And sort of we did that, and it made us seem like we were like the bad guys, but that is not the truth. So right. Eventually, after we took out all of our enemies, you know, there's really not any enemies left right now. So, you know, now it's just, okay, well, you know, everything's clean, everything's cool. So, you know, we just want to make sure the game keeps on thriving, and, you know, that's it. You know? All
right. Good to hear. So I'm really personally curious about the casting. What's it like during the final hour of the Deadman event? Is everybody silent except for one guy calling the shots? What's that like?
Oh, yeah. So the main guy is Brian29. You guys probably have heard of him before, but Brian29, he's an awesome caller. He knows this game inside and out. Like, he knows when to move, when not to move, who to attack. He knows every single little step to take. So it's really amazing because, you know, he'll tell you, like, hey, you guys need to do like 3 steps to the east or 2 steps to the north, and he'll really get down into it, and everybody will listen like instantly. Like, within a second, they'll follow the rules. So, you know, that's really interesting, you know, and he'll throw 3 barrages to the south, you know, maybe 10 to the east, you know, and he'll just shout that out like immediately, and people will just follow, you know.
That sounds like it might be the biggest deciding factor between you and the other teams.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, yeah. And another thing is, you know, we sort of planned a little bit before, you know, we give it, you know, a little bit of thought, you know, what we can do, you know, so we make sure that whatever we're doing is actually going to be good, you know.
Yep. All right. So last question for you. Obviously, you guys are looking to host more kind of community events going forward, similar to your, what was it, a PvP championship, whatever you'd like to call that, the tournament. Also, the Jagex ones. We have our PvP championship. I noticed you actually have a few really talented PKers in your team that have applied and successfully entered. I know there's Owe, Milan, and Phils.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, what's it like in your community? So you have a few people that are seriously good at hybriding, and then everybody else is more sticking to multi?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I guess, no, Rot does have like a few good single PKers, like really, really good single PKers, you know, but although mostly Rot is focused in on multi-PKs. So multi-PK, we have that locked down. You know, that's just our game. That's just us.
Yeah.
But single PKers, you know, we do have some.
Would you say you're leaning more towards trying to become more of a singles team? Or are you guys always going to stick to multi?
I think no matter what, we're always going to stick to multi because that's just where the warrant is, and that's just where we've always liked. But you know, we could be going towards single. If that's the future, then I mean, why not?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, in the PvP champs, we've also got 5v5 and 20v20, so. You know, there's room for some multi in there, but going forward, potentially we can consider things like 100 versus 100, and obviously you guys would probably do quite well with that.
Oh, yeah.
But that's just about it. That's all my questions I think I have for you. As you already said, you're not intending to slow down anytime soon. So the next Deadman season, of course, the tournament ends at RuneFest. That's September 23rd. We look forward to seeing you guys play your part in that tournament. And apart from that, thanks for taking the time to talk to me today.
Yep, no problem. Take care, bro.